This is the third trap in the leader trap cycle. This is where we are looking at the self awareness we need, the emotional management we need in order to become the leader in ourselves and in the communication with the people in our lives, at home, and at work. Now, this particular trap, the third trap here, it begins back with the first trap in imposter syndrome. And that's where we saw our confidence being challenged. We tried to compensate in fantasy planning. We tried to overcompensate in fantasy planning, where we start putting our faith in the systems rather than people who make a system work. Uh, and that devolves that loss of confidence in ourselves and in people. This means that our trust in others is deteriorating alongside the lack of confidence in ourselves. And as our trust deteriorates, we look for security in control. This is the trap of micromanagement. All right. Now, as our fantasy planning continues to isolate us as the only one who really knows our vision, the only one who really knows the right way of doing things, the problem is we start to rely on, or we continue relying on, doing everything ourselves. Oh, this is such a problem, and I'll tell you why. Doing everything yourself is going to eventually not only limit whatever organization or company, business, team you're trying to build here, because you're only one person. So you're going to wind up so exhausted and it's going to threaten your health. Now, we see this often. This problem is so common. It's so common, for example, in entrepreneurs who've built their business through hard work from scratch. They can feel very protective of it. But we even see it in parents too. The emotional involvement involved in raising your child. I mean, we see it everywhere where we see the fear of getting it wrong meeting with the fear of letting go. So, of course, we see it in those cases, and we see it so often in new managers, teachers, as I've mentioned, anyone who's an organizer, but we also see it in experienced leaders when they're trying to build a new organization or build on or grow a community. You can so easily backslide back into micromanagement, relying on control for your security. Now, just like all of the leader traps, this is a constant danger to us. And when one is not fixed, it leads to the other, and leads to the other, and so on. Now, when we're getting to the stage of micromanagement here, this is a difficulty because what it means is we can't delegate to other people. We can't take anything off our shoulders. We have to keep doing it ourselves. When we can't delegate to other people, when we're ignoring any line of responsibility in a hierarchy, what's called chain of command, we're just jumping around wherever we want to arbitrarily because only we really know how to do things or what the vision is. And when we have to have every decision routed through us for approval, then you know what happens to the people we work with? They begin to feel useless and disrespected. And I've seen that happen so often in a business with middle management. What's the point of them? They begin to wonder. Nobody cares about my expertise. Everything has to go up, and the owner's leaping over back down and trying to manage the people below me. No use for me. But that's not the only place. Again, business is not the only place we see this. You're totally removing the responsibility of agency, of decision, of action, the capacity for any kind of self decision from every level when we're getting into micromanagement. And that's why it's so dangerous. It really destroys the teamwork, destroys that spirit of unity that we need so badly to make a team work, to make an organization work, to make a family work. Now, you might feel the resentment, when you're micromanaging. And unfortunately, continually, you're still lacking that confidence when we're in the stage of micromanagement, the confidence that we lost in imposter syndrome, the removal of displacing, I should say, faith in people to systems. We're still lacking a confident leadership strategy. And so, in order to compensate for micromanagement, then we turn to the next trap in the cycle, which is vanity marketing. All right. Well, again, we do have some practical steps to help you out of micromanagement as well. And I put them in my guide. So if you haven't already, I'm going to tell you again, please do hit the link and download that. And, if you find that you don't know how to apply that exactly, you can't understand how it applies to your situation, particularly your context or your milieu. All right, I'll put a link there too. Talk to me. We can have a one-to-one, and I'll help to show you the way out of it in your particular situation, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.